Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So after we've talked about procrastination, once you start thinking there is something that needs to be done in our life, usually when we are studying, when we are very ambitious in life, and especially these days there is sort of a connection that is coming to us, a constant reminder, look, if you are a girl, you need to be more independent. You need to have your own thought, clarity, your own money, your own life. And for that, obviously you have to study, and obviously you have to opt for a career. But being Muslimah, it is very important that we try to understand what is it that you actually need. Have clarity in what we should be opting for and what we should refrain from. If you make a rule in your life and try to understand it by telling yourself that whatever is there from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a golden principle, it's a golden formula. And it's a sustainable formula, a universal truth for all times. No matter what age I am in, no matter what era, and same goes for no matter, what are my circumstances, whatever my background. If I understand the basic concept, the structure, the framework that Islam gives me, then it won't be difficult for me to practice anything. We get caught up in this confusion since we don't have a strong grip on the Islamic principles, Quran and Sunnah. And then we are obviously interacting with many people on social media as well as in our institutions. That also includes our teachers sometimes. Even they don't have much deeper knowledge as to what a Muslimah should be engaged in. And then we look at so much hype which is created in the media, in our environment, and so many insecurities which are generated. So because of that, we end up many a times taking decisions which are not appropriate. I'm a medical doctor myself, and I'm coming from a family of doctors. My parents are doctors. I have 4 siblings who are all doctors. Their spouses, all the 4 spouses are doctors. In my extended family, and when I was young, I also carried this notion that, yes, we should understand religion, but if I go deep into religion, then there'll be a lot of barriers for me. And I was not ready to accept those barriers. I thought life will get very confusing. It will be so much difficult for me to move on with my career, my passion, and then also practice Islam. But to my surprise, when I started studying Quran, I had started my journey towards post-graduation, and I very accidentally landed into a Quran class where I heard Ustaza Dr. Farhat Hashmi, and I was spellbound. I just sat there listening to her, and I thought, where are you going? I asked myself actually this question, where are you going? What are you heading for? Why did you fool yourself all these years and never try to understand the message of Quran? And then I became a regular student in Al-Huda. I started coming for my weekly classes, started learning and understanding Quran. And then I realized that after understanding the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it became very easy for me to discipline myself in my career choice, in my work plan, in dealing with my colleagues, and even taking good care of my patients. And I have found Quran to be no hindrance to my career. That is one important message that I deliver to everyone. But yes, I do understand the limitations I do understand where to draw the line, where to say no, and where, yes, there might be a golden opportunity coming my way, but I have to refuse that, even if everyone is pushing me towards it. That's the clarity that you get from Quran. So let me share some of the important tips how you can, because most of you are beginners, most of you are college students and might be taking admission in university soon, or already in university and thinking of opting a career. And then you're also tempted to be a Quran student on regular basis. But then how do you strike that balance? The first principle that you have to understand is that all the rulings which are given in Quran, they are providing us protection. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would stop us from anything which brings harm to our life. If it's a risky thing for our life, we'll be told, no, it's haram. Even if our logic or the society is giving us another idea. Then Islam protects our property. Any decision that we take which is going to be harmful for our property, Islam is going to put stop to that. You're not allowed to do it. Anything that destroys our deen, don't do it, because this is going to corrupt your deen. Anything which is going to affect our intellect, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a brilliant brain, matchless brain. We are so much in awe by this artificial intelligence and what it is doing in this era now. But we fail to understand how much more brilliant we are. What a capacity that has been given to us. And since we are wasting that capacity, that is why we are impressed by things that this brain has discovered or invented and made. Similarly, anything which affects our honor, our izzat, dignity of human being, my dignity, my family dignity, Islam is going to protect us. And then Islam, it gives a big importance to a family. So anything that affects family structure, again Islam will tell us. There is going to be no distinction between a male or a female. But yes, because the job description has been given to a man and a woman, so anything that comes in the way, either for a man or for a woman, according to their job description, they will be told to take care of it. So it's not like, why I'm not allowed to do this and why my brother is allowed to. Because there is somehow in your job description to manage things this way, and since this area is getting affected, that is why you are stopped. So Islam is not, there is no like gender discrimination, but it's based on the job that you have. So that it's a very clear system. There is no ambiguity in it. That is what we fail to see. At the same time, we have to understand Islam does not stop us from education. It is so ironic. People will actually sit and say to me, तुम्हें अब क्या ज़रूरत है? तुम अब सिर्फ कुरान पढ़ो. Islam is not stopping me from studying. It's only the worldly standard which has stigmatized Islam in such a manner that if you wear hijab, then probably not only your body, your intellect is also covered. It's ilman nafian. But yes, in Islam the concept is not just education, it's taaleem and tarbiyah. You seek education, but you focus on your tarbiyah, your character building. It should reflect in your personality. आता है, practice कितना कर रहे हैं? How much they are putting into practice? Look at the attitude they have in the class. How much respect they are showing to knowledge, to the teacher. Then when they're sitting with you, coming to the class and going back home, if they are not practicing, Islam says teach them again. That is talim and tarbiyah. So Islam doesn't stop us from seeking education, but Islam focuses on implementation. When we are thinking of career, it should not just be for money. The career should be for grooming us as an individual, then as a Muslim, then as a family member, whatever roles we have. And then yes, ultimately be a productive member of Ummah and society. This is how we should be. Money is a side effect of when you're working. You will get the money. That's not going anywhere. But when your focus is only money, then you are in trouble. So when it comes to career choice, we are allowed to take up a career, but there are certain terms and conditions, certain rules and regulations. There are certain rules and regulations and terms and conditions for men as well. But they are more so for females. Why? Because we are more special. We are more attractive. Okay? Our main role is within home environment. We have to raise sound families. That should be our focus. I'm a product of working mother. And all my life I've seen my mom to be deadly busy in her work because she was practicing gynecology. But other than that, I saw her doing nothing but taking care of us. And I feel, despite that she was not able to give us much of the time, she has done a wonderful job with all of us. When a female chooses a career, she has to be very careful as to striking the balance. So Islam tells us that a female, if she wants, she is intelligent enough, she can be very productive. The first thing that she has to remember is seeking permission. Initially from the parents, discussing with them, developing a relationship with them. If it's like they don't understand, they might not understand. Why? Because when I was young, we only had probably 3 professions: doctor, engineer, and teacher. That's it. There was no concept of startups, no concept of going into any other field otherwise. So yes, my generation is different. Now the world has expanded, there are more opportunities and there is a lot of diversity and everything. But to make your family members understand that, you have to actually sit with them and talk, and plus you need to have this checklist with you. This is the guideline given to me by Islam, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I need to first look into those areas. And also remember that once I get married, let's say you studied in a university or you were working and your parents were fine with the whole idea. And once you get married, then the permission has to move on to your husband. Discuss with him. He is the CEO of the house now. So you have to talk to him. And if he says, I'm fine, that's not a problem, then you have a couple of more things to discuss, like the money matters, having kids, sharing some responsibilities related to kids. And if you feel that he is letting you take up a profession, but he is not very cooperative in the rest of the areas, then you have to be more cautious as to what my choice should be. I have my own career to manage. My boss would not let me take off so early. So then you have to keep all those things into consideration. I have even seen girls who had been very passionate before they got married. And once they are married and the husband and the family said, well, we won't have any problem. But she got married and somehow the circumstances turned out that in-laws, they are not happy with her work, or husband says, nay, I think you should stay home. Sometimes when we land in the situation and then we want to do something else, it's just like we go out with family and say, I think I'm going to eat steak. And when you open the menu and you're like, no, burger looks better. So it's not like people are cheaters and people dodged and people lied. Sometimes situations are different. And when you actually land in those situations, then you realize, no, it's not on. This game is not on. So a female needs to understand all these factors, and you will be able to work very effectively if you have resilience over there. A lot of time people don't have that resilience. They are like, now or never. And we make our own life miserable. And nowadays I feel that females have so many more opportunities. Let's say husband says, oh, actually I don't have any problem with you going out, but my family is little conservative, or they don't understand. So maybe you stay home. So then you can ask him, if I do some online work, would you have any problem? He'll like, no, not at all. You stay home because my mom or my family would be happy, and yet, yes, you can work from home. Sometimes girls come up to me and they're like, I got married and they're not letting me study. I'm like, seriously? Would they let you study online? हाँ, वो allow कर देंगे, but मैंने नहीं उस तरह पढ़ना. So, little flexibility with the permission. Secondly, you need to understand how to set the boundaries, healthy boundaries. Because once you're working, it's never going to be a foolproof environment. There will be men and guys trying to interact with you. There will be people otherwise who would expect you to extend your time, energy. They will exhaust you. So you need to understand where to draw the line, especially with non-mahram. And this corporate culture is like everyone is chit-chatting and talking and gup-shup and eating together, and it gets to you. So you need to see that I have to stay quiet in whatever area it is, and where I need to give my input. And this you have to start practicing from your college days, on your social media, in your educational institutions, within your family. And if you're young, the challenge is going to be more. It will have a stronger impact on you. Third, your dress code is important. What you're wearing, and what is the expectation of the team. If you're wearing hijab, if you're covering yourself up modestly, and the environment is okay with that, so it's a better environment. This is an environment where there is respect for the female. But if there is a flat refusal that because of this head covering or because of this modest dress, you're losing the job, then is it worth going out for the job to the same, whatever the institution, could be the best institution? No, it's not. Because, this dress code saves us, gives us indication that I am entering a safe environment. And I'm not going to be desperate going to those places where they do not respect my dress code. You have to see or ensure that your deen does not get compromised, like your salah time, your namaz. Then even other practices, they should not be anything haram. They are expecting you to lie. You are in a position where they say, okay, you manipulate a situation. This product is not right, this work is not right, and then you are bound to do the wrong just because the boss wants you to do it. So that's not a good position. We should be very careful about it. Then we also have to look at history, look at the life of the Sahabiyat, the leading female figures, as to how their lives were, what was the balance in their life. Like a lot of people, when they talk about working women, they always bring in the character of Khadija radhiyallahu anha. Oh, she was a businesswoman, so she was running big company, so I'm going to be like her, she's my role model. But if we study deeply about her personality, for one thing, she was married twice, then she was providing support to her father in that business, and she was not directly sitting with men or talking to them. She would hire someone, she would send him with a business caravan, she wouldn't go along with them. And that's how she came to know about Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his honesty and his hard work and his marvelous qualities. And when she got married, she let him run the business. She did not say, look, it's me who's gonna do the job. Acha, ironically, I have seen some women who come to me crying that my husband is such a crap. You know what? I got married to him and he's such a loser. I gave him all my money and I gave him all my jewelry to invest in a business. Aur sab kuch khatam ho gaya. And I'm like, why did you do that? Oh, I was reading about Khadija radhiyallahu anha. She did that. That's why. What's the character trait of the guy you got married to? He was flunking in studies. He was like wasting money. He was not sleeping on time. He was like giving hard time to his family members. He was also giving hard time to you. And you are blindfoldedly giving your money away to him. Your jewelry away to him. You should not be that stupid. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was known for his honesty and his amana. Sadiq and Ameen. That's why she was so intelligent. That's why she let him run the business. And ultimately, she came in a very domestic role. She invested on her family. She understood when is the need for me to be leading a business or working or be in a work environment, and when it is appropriate for me to retrieve back, to be with my family. So we do not find her sitting in her office space once she was married. She was more in a domestic role, and since she had that worldly exposure, she invested over there. She was not frustrated. In our time, if there is a very dynamic lady, a career woman, she gets married, for some reason she is not able to work, what does she do? She becomes depressed. She is not able to work properly. She has a lot of regrets about getting married. Even if her husband is good, everyone is supportive, and she hates him. She doesn't want to be with him. So this is something which is not appropriate. This is something that we need to work on. Life of Khadija radhiyallahu anha, if you study from that perspective.